Hello everyone, welcome to August 5, the live stream build of Lego sets continues. So you will get to choose which one of these three sets I'm going to build. So here they are with the set names and the set numbers. They all look pretty exciting and I will build all of them eventually. It just comes down to which one do you want me to see built first. So I'm going to create a poll just like last time and give you the chance to vote on which one is your favorite. And you can vote for other sets that I might buy later in the month in the link in the description. And you could also enter the giveaway in the same link if you are eligible. So once again, I'll create a poll with the short titles of the sets. So I'm just going to call this one Train. This one I'll call Fortnite BrickHeadz. It's the only Fortnite set here. And this one is, I'll just call it the Circus tent. Should I build first? Train, Circus, or Fortnite? So I see there's a few people who joined. Please vote, and we'll see which one ends up winning. Give people a few more moments to vote. So what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? And in the meantime, I'll show you some of these sets that are going to be part of the giveaway. So there's the Razor Crest Microfighter, not the UCS. I wish one day I could get and give away the UCS version, but that's probably far into the future. But in the meantime, I do have this. So one of you might take this home. It's a retired set, comes with a nice Dinjarin minifigure with arm printing. So if you want to enter the giveaway, the link is in the description of this live stream. I'm also going to be giving away this Lego City lifeguard truck. So that's a nice set as well. Has two minifigures and a shark, which is pretty nice, and I like the color scheme here. This is a relatively easy set to build without the instructions, quite small and quick to build. And again, you got a nice shark with it. And if you're just joining, please make sure to vote in the poll of this live stream, if you're watching this live, of course, so that I can choose which set to build. And then I'm also going to be giving away these poly bags right here. There's a Ninjago poly bag that came out just a few weeks ago. It comes with two minifigures, which is pretty rare for a poly bag. So I quite like this one because of the transparent legs. So very nice minifigures to get in a poly bag that doesn't cost too much. I'm also going to be giving away this Lego Space poly bag that's technically retired, but you can still find it in some areas of the world if you know what you're doing. And then finally, because I know a lot of you love Star Wars, I'll be giving away this Lego Star Wars poly bag as well. So one of you will be taking this home. All right. Let's see, did we get any votes in? I see people are quite undecided. I'll wait for a couple more minutes. And if you're watching this and you know someone else who might be interested, you can forward the link to the stream to them, invite them over. Let's have some fun together. And I'm going to share this link with some of my buddies as well. They might not be aware that I'm streaming right now. And while we're waiting for that to load, here are some minifigures that I have from my personal collection. I'll just put them here. They're not related to these sets in particular, but they're some of my favorites. And each one of them has a nice story. This is my very first early access minifigure that I ever got, so he will always hold a special place in my heart. This guy was supposed to come out in June 2023, but I was able to find him early, so quite a nice minifigure right there with the transparent arms. This one is just so cute. I love the Animal Crossing minifigures, and I wish LEGO could somehow reuse these molds in other themes and just make as many of these as possible, because they're just so amazing to get. Like, look at the big eyes on that thing. So yeah, that one's nice. And the Lloyd is, of course, the legendary green ninja. This is a Ninjago Legacy minifigure from, I think, 2019 or 2020. This is also one of the first Ninjago minifigures that I got. Quite a nice figure to get as well. Oops. Gotta be careful there. All right, so now that I shared the link, hopefully a few more people join us. Otherwise, I will just make an executive decision. These are the best kind. start playing the music in the background from last time. Give a bit of a nice ambiance, as they like to say. We do have a vote for Fortnite. Do we all agree with that? Does anyone want to do something else? I'm going to give people 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's going to be Fortnite. I'm going to be building this set without the instructions. So let's do that. I'm going to get everything else out of the way. And again, these 2 sets are going to be for the giveaway, not sets that were launched recently, so I'm not going to build them immediately without the instructions. If you really want them, I might get other copies and build them if there's significant demand. But with all the LEGO sets coming in these days, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. So let's put these to the side for now, as I see, like, we're going to be building Fortnite now according to the vote. I will be doing separate videos on all of these eventually, whenever I have time, because there's lots of sets and not a lot of time. So first of all, let's talk about the set very briefly. This is the LEGO BrickHeadz Fortnite Cuddle Adventure Peely and Cuddle Team Leader set that was released in August 2025, and I'm going to build it without the instructions. This is or was a gift with purchase on lego.com and in LEGO stores for purchases of up to $130 or $140 US or $170 Canadian. So these are the 270th and 271st BrickHeadz that LEGO has made. So if you're just starting your BrickHeadz collection, you have 269 others to go. I don't think I'll ever be able to complete my BrickHeadz collection. I do have a few of the characters that I like, or characters that came out at the time that I was doing this channel. I got those, but I cannot get every single BrickHeadz. But I did have the previous LEGO Fortnite BrickHeadz built. Sadly, I don't have it in front of me right now. So it will be good to at least have a complete LEGO BrickHeadz Fortnite collection. So yeah, enough talking. Here's a look at the back of the box, and we see the same characters from the front using the same angles, which is, I guess, good for marketing, but not good for trying to build this out without the instructions. So we'll do our best with what we can, and I'll see if there's a 3D view available to me, which is not always the case for these gifts with purchase. Otherwise, I'll just guess what they look like from the back using reasonable assumptions, as usual when I build these BrickHeadz. And so if you really want this set, if it's still available on lego.com, go get it now. If it's not available, try to find it at your local LEGO store. They might still have a few copies, because the set might become significantly more expensive in retirement. Okay, so rearrange the bags. You could probably tell just from the colors inside which bag is going to build what. So in this set, we got 4 numbered bags, numbered from 1 to 4. We got 2 instruction manuals, so 2 people can build this set in parallel at the same time. And everything is self-explanatory on the instruction cover pages. You know, I don't even need to tell you what this is. It's very obvious. So with that being said, let's get straight to building with bag 1. And of course, I will not be using the instructions. I rely only on the box for this. And for the 3D view, I will check to see if there's a 3D view online, but I don't think that there is. I'll check anyway. I'll do that now. So there's a bunch of pictures of the set on lego.com, but all of them show the characters only from the front, which is mighty convenient. There's one that shows them a bit from the side, but we do see the sides here as well. So, oh well, too bad. Maybe someone built this online and has a 3D view of it, but I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna build this like the way I would build it, just looking at the box, and we'll have to guess the back, which I'm guessing is not super exciting or interesting. So I'll see here, is there any piece that's printed or new or exclusive? Most of these pieces seem pretty standard to me. The standard eyes that are printed. We've seen these many times before. Nothing unusual there. I guess looking at the box, we see that the bottom part of Peely, and actually all of Peely, has no exclusive prints. Everything is brick built. And already you can start to see how we're going to need to put this together. It's not clear to me what we're doing because I see this pink brick, which means we're building the head. I also see this olive green, which means that we're building the stuff that's lower down at the bottom. And I also see this, which is used here, but I see the eyes, which are used for the head. So it's not clear how are we supposed to build this, and it's not clear what these parts are going to build. It's a bit of a mystery. So what we can do is we can look at bag 2. In bag 2, we see this red piece here. We see the base, a bunch of the larger pieces. That's quite interesting to think about. You see this black piece right here, looks like a gun of some sort. And so the stuff that goes on top of the head, we see this piece as well. So one thing I could do is I could just put all the bag 1 stuff to the side like this and open bag 2 at the same time. And we'll just figure it out as we go along. This way, if I need a piece, I'll just grab it instead of trying to make something that's very unstable and try to add stuff from bag 2 all around it. Let's just open both bags at the same time. And the base has not changed since the last time we built BrickHeadz. It's basically the same like plate, same tile, plate, tile pattern from before. Yeah, that's the easiest part to figure out. You see, like these parts used for the legs, they're actually here. And this is here. And also something that's unusual, I see the same piece in both bags, and you can rewind this if you don't believe me, but I see this olive green here and this olive green right here. Isn't that amazing? So same piece, but they put it in two bags. Usually we don't see this for the small sets because it would save them money to put this with this. I'm sure they have a good reason for it. So in this bag, you're building this bottom part, and then you're probably building some additional parts of the head. So there is a logic to what they're doing. It's just that I don't know it. But we'll find out soon enough. Does Peely have a tail or something here? We don't know. But the only light bluish gray piece that has like a side with two is this one. So we know that this must go here. Basically this piece, but we don't know what comes here. Because I've never seen this guy from the back, ever. So we'll have to take a guess or just leave it blank and come back to it later, as is often the case with these. There's no 1x4 plate that I see in this set. Well, actually there's this. But this has a raised groove, this one doesn't. Which one is it? This one without the groove. So it's this, it has to be this. And here, it's gotta be these. I'm building what I can see first. I can probably switch to Fortnite music and not get copyright striked. Probably I can do that because I've seen people share this kind of music on YouTube before. Of course, you have to go through the ads. All right, that's a bit more theme related. Let's hope that we don't get copyright strike. Don't copyright me. Okay, that's the face. I'm pretty sure this is something like this. This part right here. And the peel part of peely. That's an interesting construction right there. Looking for a jumper. And if you're watching now, please like and share the stream. It helps it spread to more viewers, including people who have yet to discover the channel. I think this blue piece goes here. It's just the thing that makes the most sense. I don't see anywhere else for it to go, so I think that's logical for me. Pretty sure peely does not have a tail. And then it would make sense to put this here, and then we'd have one of either this or this here. This is probably an extra piece. I'm just putting all the extra pieces to the side so I don't use them by accident. looks like this is going to be here. This or these two, either or. We just know that we have sand blue over here. I think this can go here. The next thing we need to figure out is how to attach this here, or create like some studs on the side. I'm just gonna skip the add. From this angle, we can see that like the is going to be like the 1x1 bricks used here. So these are both showing it from the front, this angle and the other one, but they're slightly different angles. So we see slightly different things. What's less obvious is, what is this color here? Is it gray or sand blue? Because if it's gray, then it's got to be like one of these somehow. If it's sand blue, then it's going to be these two. But then if it's sand blue, then I would expect it to be like a 1x2 and not a 1x and not a 2x2. But this color looks really close to this. But I also see a tile on top of it. Okay, I think now I see it better. So I'm gonna have this sand blue, and this, then a yellow tile, like this, and this is gonna get attached from the side right here. That's what's going on. And because this is too high for one of these pieces, it's gonna have to be this. I'm pretty sure it's this. I'm pretty sure this is what it is. Let's attach some stuff here first. Now I'm just guessing, but I think this is a good guess. I've been building BrickHeadz for a while now. Once you build a few, you generally recognize the patterns. The other hand, we can see just from these two pieces here, it's going to look something like this. The standard BrickHeadz hand. So this is basically the bottom part of the BrickHeadz, and notice that we used both parts from bags 1 and 2 to build it. And I'm pretty confident in this. I don't think we're off by far, if at all. Now the head. And this might be a bit more challenging because this stuff here is a bit more rounded and less squarish. So there's more things that could possibly go wrong here, or require many attempts to get right. So now we have to layer all these snot pieces or studs not on top pieces. And the thing is, we have two choices. Either we can do this, and then this and all around, and then we do this at the top, or we do it the other way around, where we basically flip all of this by 90 degrees. In some BrickHeadz, it totally does not matter. You could do it this way or this way. It's fine either way. But for BrickHeadz with specialized heads, they have like stuff coming out of particular sides, then it actually does matter. So we need to look at this carefully and try to see what to do. But from what I see here, I see like the standard BrickHeadz, like from here to here, and I see some stuff that's added on top. And this, because it's a tile, this is actually not attached. There's no attachment between this peel and this head, so I think it's actually going to be fine either way. And we'll find out soon enough. I give BrickHeadz, I'm going to give the guy his brain. So the pink one, you could use it elsewhere, but I want to give the guy his brain in the proper location as much as I can. The good news is that if we get this wrong, there's not going to be too much disassembly, so we'll be okay. So when you're building Lego without the instructions, don't be afraid to just do it, make some silly mistakes, and then you just undo it. It's Lego, it's cool. There we go. And already we can start to see how the face is going to come together. So the face is right here. We just attach it like so. All right, so we just have to figure out the back. I just have to skip an ad there. Okay, so the back, not quite sure what's going to go here, but it's going to be whatever pieces remain, most likely in yellow. So it could be like yellow plate like this, or it could be like a plate and two tiles, or two plates, or something. So we'll leave that for a bit after. But basically whatever pieces remain, they must go on the back, including possibly some of these white pieces that we have not used so far. And I do have a real banana not too far from me for scale. And actually, I think it would be funny to compare this thing when it's done to an actual banana. We'll do the banana for scale meme. This would go here. And so now we need more studs on the side construction to basically attach this and this. So we need at least two snot pieces at the very least. So we have more than two. We have this, a bunch of these D-snot pieces, and this. So, and this, and this. All right, so there might be more than meets the eye to building this thing. So that's pretty interesting. So we know that this is attached from the side, this is attached from the side. It looks like there's stuff on the other side that's also attached from the side. And so what I'm guessing is that there's going to be some categories where we put this from below and this from above, and do the same like mirrored, just to have like basically a snot sandwich. This would be my guess for how these pieces are going to be used together. And then we have, like, since this is symmetrical, but this is not symmetrical, hard to know for sure. Especially since we don't see this from the back. But let's flip it around. Okay, so here we see a bit better on the side what's going on. I do see tiles here and here. If you look very closely, and that does make sense whenever you have studs on the side construction. So this goes here. Would make sense to put this here or here, possibly. Let's just try it. No, that's not gonna fit. But what if we do this and this, and that fits perfectly. So we know that we have to use this piece here because this is the only piece that would fit this situation. We also know that we're gonna have to use this piece here. We'll have to do some disassembly because we have to fit stuff in between, but it looks like this is the solution. So this is gonna go here. And at this point, I'll disconnect this. We have to add 1, 2, 3 plates to this, and possibly some studs on the side here to attach this stuff. So maybe these snot pieces or this one here. And actually, I don't know if this studded thing should be here, because if you look closely, yeah, you might actually not want that either. So let's use these tiles for now. All right, now we want to attach this stuff here. It will be like a, yeah, like this should attach right here. This won't work, but if we maybe one more. Let's try this. And then if we do this, this will fit perfectly. So this is obviously not the solution, but then you cannot really push this down more. So this is close, but not quite. But if we do this, and we remove that white plate, then it will be, now it's still too high. So this is not used here then, or it's used in a different way. The D-snot pieces are basically the same height as this, so these are not going to solve the problem either. So now we have a pickle. We need to figure out how to attach this from here, and maybe it's actually attached from the top. So maybe this is the thing that's holding on to it. But actually, no, it's not, because we have here these other pieces, and this is a tile, and this does not have any attachment from, it's not this, but it's this. This does not. It's actually this. This one does not have any attachment from the side. So it must be attached from here or here. That's an interesting dilemma that we have right here. This was underneath, then that would not work either, because we need this tile to be there. Alternatively, could it be the case that these are shifted by one, so like this? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I also see that this is like a bit more advanced. So like this tile does not attach here, but it's more like here. Right? So perhaps there's something there that makes this work. You might like attach this like this, for example. It's a mystery. But we'll figure it out. It's just we try one thing after another until we find the thing that works. In the meantime, we know that we have to skip the ad, ironically for YouTube Music. We know that these two go together. This is going to be like this for the head. We also know that we have a bunch of these pieces here to fill in some of the gaps. Up until now, we have not had any gaps. So these are either used for decoration around the back, or they're used for like some other purpose. And by the way, now I do see here like a blue tile shown at the back. That means like the way that we built this is wrong. And in order to be able to attach this tile here, I have to disassemble the whole thing, because it's not actually on the back that this matters. It's a pretty funny way to discover that. And also I see more tiles here than tiles that we have. So we might have used too many tiles. But if there were studs here, they would be visible, right? But I also don't see any places where we can extract these tiles from. That's another mystery. But yeah, let's do the disassembly. Basically, we'll behead the guy and just rotate everything 90 degrees. do want to maintain the sprue marks though. I have this is a new front. So now we need to rotate these as well. I guess the hint next time that I have to learn is to look at the top tiles and see what do they attach to. So these 1x4s, they attach here and link these three together. And not just these two. Now we can attach these here. I'll bring this back. And of course, put the face back on. Still no idea on how to solve this yet, but there's not that many pieces in the set, so we will figure it out eventually, somehow. This is going to be here. Kind of this here. I'm just going to attach it, even though I'll need to take it out later, just to understand the geometry a bit better. This is going to be like this. And this is going to need to attach here. It also looks like this is way further. Also, this is flipped. Not that it makes a difference, but it's good to be accurate. So I'm gonna have something that looks like this. I see here a gap, and here I don't see that gap as much. It's an interesting problem. So maybe the whole thing needs to be lifted up by, I don't know, a bracket or something. Or the whole thing is built like studs on the side. It's an interesting problem to think about. Let's try this from the other way around, like from, well, actually there's no other place to attach. I was gonna say, like, what if we attach this from the top? Then we'd be able to use these. But let me just try that for the sake of just trying something different. So if these tan brackets were not there, then I could just do this, and it would fit exactly where I want it to. So the problem is that I want to fit either this piece or these slot pieces and the tan bracket in the same place. That's the problem. Right? You can't fit two objects in like the same physical space. So that's the problem that we have here. And why didn't this work when we went down one? I forgot the reason, but let's try that one more time. I might have missed something. So basically remove this white plate and just put the D-slot piece, or put the, I'll start with that actually, and otherwise I'll use the D-slot pieces. If you just do this, then in theory I could do the bracket on top. I'll add a plate. Does this fit here? It does fit, but it's like too high. It's too high, and there's this very big gap. If there was a jumper, here, then it could work. But there are no jumpers that I see in this set. Yeah, because if somehow I could, looks like it lost the lighting, probably because the device is very hot. Okay, there's still the background light. We are using this jumper here. There's only one. And even here, there's that gap that we talked about before. It's not that visible on the box here. Okay, so that's why we didn't do this. And these knot pieces are the same dimension. So I cannot use this as a jumper piece because I'm off by just a little bit. But if I was off by one, then maybe I could use these as a jumper piece, which is a very interesting technique. So let's try that one more time. This might be the solution actually. So I'm going to take this 1x2 and attach the middle here. Jude Wars, yes, I do remember you. You were part of my live streams in May of this year. Welcome back to the live stream. I hope you've been doing well. Okay, so doing this, we still have this gap. Okay, so we still have a gap. We cannot use this as a jumper here. We cannot bring this down one plate because this physically would not fit. So that means we have to push these back by one, or push these black pieces forward by one. But we can't do that because there's pieces used there. So let's go with that. Let's push these back by one, and you're gonna have to cover this up somehow. That's the only way everything is gonna fit. But oh, actually we cannot do that either because this assembly, like this piece here, that would not allow for that. So this does not work either. So we have to do it this way. just wondering, is like some like snot plus snot, like if we do this, this is not the solution, but like, is this one plate or half a plate? Looks like this is a half plate offset, and here it kind of looks like we have a half plate offset. We have these 4 pieces that we're going to have to use somehow. So maybe this is part of the solution where you attach stuff on the side, and then those 2 cancel out, such that in the end, this all makes sense. If you're ever in a moment like this, you're tempted to look at the instructions. If you're very new to this, then I guess you can look at the instructions after a while. At least you've done your effort. If you've been doing this for a while like me, then definitely don't do that, and just try to think outside the box. Think about things that you normally would never do. Because remember, these are sets that are made by Lego designers. They do want to impress us with new ways to build every single time. If something is super obvious, they're not going to do it. And then just here, even though we have not solved this yet, but we've learned a lot about Lego studs on the side geometry, which is definitely useful if you want to do your own custom builds. Now, to question my earliest assumption, I assumed that these black pieces must be here. Is that really true? Is there any way for us to attach these pieces without that and still have the half offset? Maybe using those D-snot pieces instead. So essentially we want this to be here. Like, let's say if we forget about this for a while, we just want this to be attached directly. What if we start with that? If we do this, then this gets attached right here, but that's not right either, because we know that it's a bit more forward. But let's just go with that. Or you know what we could do? We could have these D-snot pieces here. If I attach this here, then that looks more like the solution that we want. And then we have these studs on the side that we could use to attach this. Can we? Oh no, we cannot. We can attach maybe something else here. No, we cannot. So that's not it either. So this is just going to be like a plate or 2 or something, because we cannot really attach anything to these. Can we attach the brackets to this? Like this. Will this work? Yeah, that does work. That fits the geometry. And we put this here. I still feel like we need to give it a bit more, but it looks like this construction actually does work. Does that mean that this is going to be here? not so sure about that. This won't go there for sure, but at least this works at the very, very least. If we want to reinforce this, we can use these, but then this is basically off the grid because we have like a half plate offset that we're not going to be able to satisfy. So if we do this, then we can't attach anything here. We will need something to put here. Well, at least this is better than what we had before. And somehow we attach this here. So these D-slot pieces might be used for the rest of the stuff that we cannot handle with these brackets. This is going to go here, along with possibly this. Now I realize we have another problem, is that now this is off the grid. This whole thing needs to be, this needs to touch this, like this needs to be at the exact edge. So we need to move the whole thing over by, moving it over by one stud is too much. Let's see. So basically we need like a bit of an offset, but not too much like that. Maybe one plate. That's a lot closer, but still not, we're not on the grid. So we're not going to be able to attach the other stuff on the grid like this. So we need to have basically one brick is the same as 2.5 plates. So we need 2.5 plates, and the half comes from these brackets. So we'll basically need to have a kind of like a bracket like this. Yeah, that would be perfect. Like if we just advance by like one bracket. Which means this might not be used directly here, but you need to use a bracket. We need to put this in as part of a bracket. So now we're exactly where we want to be. But then does that mean that we're kind of like right back where we started here? Because usually like these brackets, they always are used in pairs, like one going up, one going down. But we're using this bracket, this in this dimension, and we're using these two brackets in these dimensions, and it looks like we need both. highly unusual. Highly unusual. And we might need to use this bracket here, depending on these pieces. And maybe this is used on this side, but then these would not be compatible with this. It's an interesting problem. This is probably not used here either. I kind of feel like I'm going to build this whole thing without this piece. If I steal some of the fillings from here, I'll be able to probably close this gap a bit more. But I shouldn't do that because that'll just make everything very fragile. But we do know that we're going to need some D-slot pieces all around. Actually, does this fit with the grid? That's what I want to know. If I attach this, no, that will not fit. I add a plate. Nope, it's still not within the grid. 2 plates. Nope, still not within the grid. It feels like it is. It isn't. Okay, 3. Which is like basically 1 brick high. I need to find like a big enough piece for this. Still no. Eventually it will fit. This geometry can get complicated sometimes. Okay, yeah, that fits. So we need to have basically 4 or 5 plates so that this attaches here. Can we bring this down by any amount? I tried like 0, 1, 2, 3 and didn't work. I had to add 4 plates for this to attach to the geometry of this grid right here, which means probably this piece does not belong there. It's basically 5 plates for 2 bricks. So if you have 5 plates this way, it's the same as 2 bricks going the other way. You can see that clearly here. And a lot of the stuff that applies to this also applies to these, although these are smaller. And they can be oriented around. It looks like these are used somewhere on the back. And there's a piece underneath them, probably this one. Looks likely to me. You have something that looks like this for the back, and this for the top. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere again. You just need to find a way to attach this to the rest. So let's just do something very basic and count the number of plates that we need. So if we were to do this, this is not the final answer, but let's just see. Does that make sense? We got 4 plates. 4 plates means 2 of these D-snot pieces. And in fact, here we don't need, we could have had like a yellow plate here to better attach things. That will save us one of these tiles. I'll use a brick separator not included in the set to separate this piece. Okay. This is going to be somewhere in this area. This is going to be, yeah, like that. And then I would guess that this would be like this, or like this, with some tiles for the back. Or could be, oh, actually, I think for the back it's going to be like this. I think we figured out the back. Because we want to have like this general pattern. Oh no, but then we won't have any way to attach those tiles here. If we flip this, then we won't be able to attach these tiles either. So it looks like we'll have to sacrifice these 2 bricks right here. Or we use this and put everything on top of it. They won't fit. We do know that we want to have, in general, this, but like with a tile. If we do this, and that will fit. We have these studs here that we don't want. We don't care about, to be honest. Then we could put like a yellow plate there, these blue underneath. Okay, I think that's good enough as a solution, so let's go with that for now. So what we said is that I would put the blue pieces here. We're not using them anywhere and they will not be visible in the end. Trying to find the sprue mark for this. As long as it's not visible, I don't care. And this. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I just need to attach this like a couple studs, but a couple studs is also these D-snot pieces. The same will apply on the other side. I'll reattach that component later. So now we just need to, well, first of all, let's align them properly. these. We could also like use this piece in here if we wanted to. It's not going to fit the geometry on this side, but we could like use it as a filler piece on the inside, especially if we want to hide this gap. Yeah, because that's going to be an ugly gap. We'll have this. Not entirely sure about this though. And on this side, can we use this to hide the gap? No, because it would basically block, plus the color is not right. At the very least, we can do something like we ran out of these yellow plates. I'll just use this tan one. It's the closest equivalent. Try to get the general idea of the build sorted out. And I believe this is it. It's going to be like something very similar to this, if not this exactly. So yeah, I ended up not using these pieces here. So this is not the official build, but using only 2 angles, looking at this from the front and not looking at the instructions at all, not even a little bit, I think this is not bad. Like if you're looking at this from far away, you're not paying attention to the gap because you haven't just built it, you would not be able to tell. So I'm perfectly happy with this solution, again, given the time that I have and the fact that I'm doing this on a live stream. So here is Peely. Just spin him around. And as promised, I will bring out a banana for scale. One moment, please. Don't go anywhere. This is an actual banana. There you can see the comparison between Peely and a standard banana that you could get at a supermarket. And let's compare accuracy to the source material. You can see like a real banana does not have any legs or eyes, and it's not a video game character. So not entirely accurate, but the shaping here is more or less accurate. The olive green reminds me of the green shown here on the banana. And if you're here right now, you can celebrate because this is the very first time that an actual physical banana or any fruit has appeared on this channel. So you're witnessing history right now, folks. Yeah, but this is a nice BrickHeadz to get, and I'm happy that they were able to translate the Peely character. First they did the buildable Peely, the 18+ set from last year, and that was very impressive. So it's nice to get this BrickHeadz. It's a bit more affordable, a bit more accessible to people. Although I do wish that I have to skip through the ads. So yeah, like I do like that they gave us this BrickHeadz, although I do wish that they made this purchasable. So I wish you could just buy this set at the Lego store instead of having a limited edition thing only for a few weeks in August. Because if you're an adult and you follow Lego closely, you can always get this set. Just like you can get a banana at the supermarket, it's very easy. But like if you're a kid and you rely on your parents to get your Lego sets for you, and they're not really aware, or it's not the best time of the year for them to go to the Lego store to get these sets, then you have to basically beg your parents to spend $170 worth on Lego in August during a very specific week to get this as a gift with purchase, or you buy it on the aftermarket from Bricklink and stuff like that. So I do think because this is a set for kids, it's a 10 plus set after all, I do hope that Lego makes this more available, more accessible to people. And if you want to make it a gift with purchase at first, that's fine, but then maybe 3 months later, offer it to parents, let them buy it for their kids, because I think lots of kids like to have BrickHeadz and Funko Pops and these collectibles in general, and I think that kids would really enjoy this. Or it could be an insider's reward kind of thing. So yeah, I definitely hope that Lego makes this more accessible and not only available to resellers who are going to jack up the price on the aftermarket. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to the Cuddle team leader. Looks very cuddly indeed. So that would be with bags 3 and 4. All these pieces that I have not used, I'll hold on to them, and in case I need to use them for the Cuddle team leader, I will, but I'll try not to. And just like before, I will open both bags at the same time, so I don't have to keep like hunting for each piece. So on this side is bag 3. I'll actually put the bag here. And on this side is bag 4. And we spent about an hour, 20 minutes building this, but taking our time, having fun, not really going super fast. Is this one going to take more or less time? Well, let's find out. Also, we did spend a bunch of time early on in the stream just asking people what they wanted to build. All right, so the base is always easy. No problem there. And then here, we do need to pay careful attention because the colors are not quite identical. This magenta is not the same as this pink. They're similar, but they're not the same. Especially, well, maybe on camera, the difference is not the same as when you look at it with your own eyes, but just be aware of the difference. Oh, and then there's this other color as well. So this and this are not the same either. So hopefully you can see the difference on camera. We have to pick the right piece to use in each case. Actually, we want to use this piece here. That's a very, very subtle difference. So once again, here's the 3 colors right next to each other. So you have like this pink color, this light magenta or medium magenta, and this darker magenta or purple color. The shadows here don't help, but I think that this color is different from this one actually. For those of you who are new to the live stream, welcome. I'm now building the Lego BrickHeadz Fortnite Cuddle Team Leader. Without instructions as always. I also just finished building the Peely, so you can rewind if you want to watch that or watch it later. And hopefully we'll be able to build this a bit faster than the other one. Oh, and before we get to the build, I'll show you the printed pieces. So we do have the eyes that are printed, and that's a normal thing. We get these for almost every BrickHeadz these days. So these are standard pieces we've seen many times before, but these pieces are exclusive, I believe, to this set. So these are nice to get, and they're printed well. You can see the printing quality is nice and crisp. So we're going to need to put, this is the only piece that makes sense to put here. So it's got to be this. And you don't really see this guy from the back. And here we don't see the back either. So I'll have to do a little bit of guessing once again. I do see that these two plates are used here on top, so that means we're not going to use a white plate here. And we do get a pickaxe as well, which is nice. I'll just attach that at the end for simplicity. And it does look like the hands are identical here, unlike with Peely. And I'm gonna just isolate these pieces by building them together into that standard BrickHeadz form. This is going to be for the head. And if there's any extras, then we might be using them in the body. Well, actually, looks like we have one missing. Is that right? Okay, so it looks like this one might be one of those non-traditional ones where we're doing something weird on one side. Although that was not my first impression, but let's just set this to the side. We'll come back to this. This probably has something to do with this piece right here. We'll see. So we do see this goes on top of this, like this. So what other studs on the side pieces do we have? We have these. I'll just put all the studs on the side pieces, like in a separate pile, just like before. So you can take inspiration and figure out which one is used in each place. So we do need, so I'm guessing what's the situation here is that we're gonna take two of these out from here and replace them with these for some reason, and then use these here. That would be my guess. Because I don't see any of these pink or magenta pieces that have any studs on the side connection. And even these blue pieces also do not have any studs on the side connection. These might be used at the back, by the way, I'm not sure. So let's see, can we do that? And is this actually true? Looks like it. And probably it's a good idea to fill this up while it's easy to do so. And for that, we're just gonna, wait, where's the pink brick for the head? So this guy does not get a, oh, I didn't see this piece. So this guy has no pink brick for the head. Maybe his brain is blue instead of pink. Or maybe he just has like two plates for a brain instead of the standard brick. Or maybe this is his brain in white. It's one of those options. But these, I'm pretty sure they go down in the body like this. I'm gonna have to fill this up somehow. My guess is that this goes on the back. I'm not 100% sure. Not visible from anywhere. But we'll, we have to go with something, right? And in that case, we would need like some 1x1s on this side to fill it up. And if there are none, then that means this is not the solution. For those of you who are new to the stream, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We do see a little bit of danger. You see these ears right here? They're attached with these pieces, which are attached on the side, So we'll have to think carefully about how these pieces are attached. Maybe these pieces have something to do with it. That's something to think about from now. So we're gonna need like a 1x1 or 1x3, or like either a brick or many of these tiles. We don't have enough to build this all up. I then need 1x4 bricks. Maybe this is like a stripe that goes like this. Possibly. You have like these surrounding it. That could be the case. maybe this is the solution. Although I do feel like black would make more sense here. Now that I think about it, as long as that black is not used elsewhere and I don't see it here. Again, the brick separator is not included in the set, but if you spend the $170 of Lego to get this gift with purchase, I'm pretty sure if you buy enough large sets, you'll have a brick separator. They used to sell them separately for like $2 at the Lego store, these brick separators, but at some point they stopped doing that. All right, so how did I do here? Did I cook or am I cooked? Yeah, I'm not gonna have a hello fellow kids moment. I'm not a Minecraft specialist or a Fortnite specialist in this case, and I don't pretend to be. I have played it a little bit though, so I have a basic understanding for the source material. I do realize the other option we could have done is just use this brick here and not have the blue visible in case we actually do need these somewhere else. So that's something we might have to keep in mind. And actually, we need this here. And we need one of these. Because we're gonna need these elsewhere. But we don't have these in any other color. Yeah, it's always these dilemmas that make the build exciting. So we're gonna have to steal one of these pieces. Or just assume we could use this, but that's gonna be a bad assumption, I guarantee it. I built enough sets to know not to do that. So we know now, like, if we look at this very closely, we know that there's black over there, which we currently do not have. So this has to be black, actually. This right here. Okay, so maybe the solution is actually not that difficult. We just replace this piece with a black one. Okay, that still makes sense. And I do apologize for the background noise. There's some construction going on in my area. Okay, so the bottom part, I'm confident about 3 sides of it. I'm not confident about these 2 bricks right here. So it's either this or this, one or the other, I'm not sure. So with that, we can move on to the head. And now we need to start thinking about what this head is going to look like, and this might not be the standard BrickHeadz. This vibration is getting pretty out of hand. I don't know if it's audible on camera or in the stream, but like I hear like the whole building is shaking. Yeah, doing some heavy construction work right outside. Okay, so what do we know? We do know that we have these ears. We know that we have these parts for studs on the side for places where we need to attach stuff. So the question is, do we need to attach anything here and here? Or, because this, we could do it this way, but then we'd have like this not be there. That's one possibility. Or the other possibility is that we do this And it's just like this that's not there. It's an interesting dilemma. So the face doesn't matter actually, because the face could go either way. And let me explain that actually. So let's build the face right now. We have these two plates. Put this here. So no matter what, the face is going to work. It looks like we have another print here for this that I did not see previously. Okay, so yeah, that's a nice print as well. So this thing, whether we have it like this or the other way around, this will attach no matter what. So I'm not afraid for the face. It's the sides and the back that we have to worry about. So let's see, how many of these do we have in the end? Oh. We're basically missing 2. So somehow we need to accommodate these ears. I'm guessing that these ears are attached here with this piece right there. It's just a guess. But then how would that work? Like this. And this would be like attached with something here that's on the side. So we would need something to hold on to these pieces. That's possibly where these guys come in. Let's give that a try. Is this the right dimension? Maybe? Or maybe this is like on top of something else. Like there's like a brick and then this. But then if we have this, then that means we cannot have like these pieces, because this stud would not be able to take the same place as these. This is a bracket that's pointing down, so I don't think it's this either. And this would not also it would not be able to fit with these. I don't think that will work either. So once again, it's a build that's generally simple, but then because of the studs on the side construction, especially like the ears, we have to think a lot about how we're going to do this. In the meantime, I'll start to see if I can build some of the easier stuff. Looks like we will be using this. And not much is clear just from this picture. But we'll figure it out, just like we did with the Peely guy. also have this tile that is probably used in conjunction with this because we don't see it here, or maybe it's something used in the back. It looks like at the very top we definitely have this shape. We do know that at the very least. This shape right here, this is gonna have to be on one of these. And then we have this. So inevitably we have this here. Or maybe it's some other color that's not visible, like the tan that goes here. We could do that if we need to later. But we know that the top of the head is going to look like this. We generally know the ears, and at this point I'm pretty convinced. I have the feeling that they go on these black pieces. I just don't know how they're going to be attached. Also see this circular piece right here. I think it's just used for spacing and not necessarily for studs on the side attachment. So again, let's just go with one option, and if it doesn't work, we'll move things around. So these need to go. Then the ears would be somewhere in here-ish. I feel like it would make more sense with everything rotated. Oh yeah, and another thing to reinforce that point is that we want these pieces to link these two. That's usually how these are designed. And then we have something here for the ears. So we do have this, this, this. All that is fine. The face, we can attach it with just these ears, so we don't really need anything else for it. Maybe this is used just for reinforcements. But then here we need something for the ears. So we need to fill this gap. So we'll put in a brick. I'll put this in. Is this going to fit here? No, we need one more level. Okay, how about now? And then we will need to, oh, we have a problem, because if we do this, then we'll be able to fit one of them, but then we won't be able to put the other one here because there's this stud that interferes, it gets in the way. So we have to figure out another solution. It's always the challenge with these things. And then if we put like this here, that might bring it out too much. I'm gonna try putting this brick here just to see if it respects the geometry. This feels barely legal. And in fact, this here extends out way too much. So this won't work actually. So we do know that these bricks actually don't go here. So we're gonna need something that's more or less like this, but then this also does not belong here. Which makes it a mystery how this whole thing fits together. Because even if like these were here, you'd have this here. You still need this to be aligned with the grid. You cannot attach anything from here because this stud is in the way. You cannot attach anything from the side because this stud is in the way. You would need to use some tiles, but I do not see tiles used like flat over here. Everything is on the side. So maybe this is not the way that these are attached. There's some other mechanism, although I don't really see it. I don't see any clips. I don't see any Technic. I just see these like regular pieces. Well, you know what? We have this piece from before that we did not use, so just hear me out on this. Does that work? Yeah, it does. Pretty sure this is not the actual solution, but if it works, it works. I'm only using the pieces in this set. I'm not adding my own pieces, so I think it's okay. Although, of course, there's probably an alternative solution using only the pieces in these bags. But there are cases where I've seen Lego say, hey, remember that piece that you used in like bag 2? Now we're in bag 27, go bring that piece back because we're going to use it here. I know they've done that recently. So what this means is that we can bring this back like this, and we are in business. I'm curious as to how they did this originally. And well, the thing is, there is a bracket that they're using, like in this bag, and it would have to be here. So if I were to like remove this piece that is from the other bag and use this bracket, then that could work, but then you'd have to make sure that the geometry works. So you'd have to attach this to here. And actually, with this, the advantage of this piece over this one is that the angles are fixed in place. So is this the right angle? Or actually, it might be more like this because the body of the thing is quite wide. And so like in the end, it looks more like this. And this is going to be hidden, so it won't be visible once all is said and done. I'll give it another plate and let's see. Yeah, I think actually this is the solution. Yeah, we're not going to use this piece from the other bag. And then we still need to put the face on. We do have these pieces here for attaching stuff. And we can align this to the grid. The brick is too high. So these are actually the height of one brick and 2 plates, I believe. Let's test that. Yeah, so these are the height of 1 brick and 2 plates. So if we want to use this, that means we need 2 plates, then this brick. And they have to be like 1 by 4 or 1 by 2 plates that fit in this space, basically. We've used the tan ones here because we don't want to see those colors at the end. Here I don't really see much choice left, unless we steal this piece from here. So if we do this, yeah, that's too low. We need another one. I'm pretty sure this is not the solution, but we'll go with this, and this will help us get to the solution. Okay, so now we have our studs on the side. I'm going to need like some stuff to fill this, and perhaps this will go here. No, because these get in the way. So we need one more of these plates. We ran out. We do have these black pieces here. Or maybe you need these bricks. We also need 2 plates here. So essentially, plate, plate. And this should be a brick, or actually it could even be left blank because it's gonna get covered from pretty much all sides. And so we'll attach the head now just to secure everything in place. The face of the head to be specific. And now we can just use the rest of the pieces to finish it off. So I think the challenge here is mostly completed. Mostly. We cannot use this piece here because this gets in the way. So actually, did we build this right? Is this supposed to extend this much? Maybe not, maybe not. So but this doesn't work either. I'm gonna try again like this. Because if I do this, can I do this? Yes. But then I feel like these are still too high. And these are too out. So maybe this whole thing needs to go down 1. It's a mystery. Or maybe these ears are attached like this. No, because we see this black part here, which we don't see in the... Well, I do see there was a disconnection in the live stream, so sorry for that. I don't know if that's visible on your side or not. Okay, so generally the solution looks something like this. Maybe there's like a tile or something, or a plate that fits here. I'm not sure. Because basically with the face in perspective, we want to have these... Well, let's build the... Oops. I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to build the... like this thing here and try to get it as close as possible. The thing is, we do see here, like, there needs to be this plate, but at the same time, this plate cannot be there because if this plate was there, then this would need to come out either from the top or the bottom, and either way, this plate would interfere. Huh. So what if this is actually not horizontal at all, but like, what if it was like this? What if it was like this, actually? But would that work? And maybe this is not the right level. Maybe it needs to be like raised up even more. Could this be the solution? Maybe this is the solution, actually. We need like a brick. And I think at this point, we're gonna need these 2 bricks. So we'll have to tear this apart and recover them. So always be open-minded to the idea that you might have built something wrong or different from what the designer intended. I don't think that this was a bad choice in terms of color scheme, but it looks like it does not fit with the rest of the build, so we do have to adjust ourselves accordingly. And there was another plate that went here, I believe. This goes here. Oh yeah, the black plate. Okay, so we're back to where we started. We have this that we're going to attach here. But first we have to figure out this guy. It looks like this guy gets attached here, so one more. And if we do this, then we will have the possibility to attach this here, which is what we want. And we can do this, and the remaining brick will go in here. And now we're like on the grid again. And this looks like it makes sense. And just without the rest of the fur, he kind of looks like a mouse. So it's pretty funny to think about. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him I said that. Okay. Yeah, so the actual solution was a lot easier than I ended up. I was thinking of something a lot more complex, but the actual solution was a lot simpler, which is often how these things go. All right. I'm guessing this would go here. I don't know for sure, but it seems like a good guess to me. Or maybe we could use these. But we have this tile here. So you cannot use this here. I seem to be missing one of those slope pieces here. So we'll come back to this. Maybe there's something else we need to do, or some other piece we need to steal to make that work. But for now, let's do the head. And the head, we've actually built this part of it, so that just goes right there. And these two wide slope pieces just get attached right here. So this one actually was a lot simpler to figure out compared to the Peely. We just had to figure out the ears. That was the most difficult part, but that was not too hard to do. Now for the back, we can never know for sure, but I'm guessing it's going to involve, it's going to have something to do with these pieces like this. And because there's so many of these plates left, I'm guessing it's going to be thicker like this. I don't think it's too far off. And now we're almost done. We just have like this one thing that we're not seeing on the box. So either we're missing that piece on the other side, or we're supposed to do something slightly different here. So what I'll do is I'll just take this and this and create something that is close as possible to what I think the actual solution is. And try to, I don't know what's the right. Okay, that's not that bad. So with what I know, this is the best that I can come up with. And we're going to attach the pickaxe. And with that, we are done with the build. This is the Lego BrickHeadz Fortnite Cuddle Team Leader. Very exciting character, and good to get him in BrickHeadz form. Although, again, I wish that Lego would just sell this set to people instead of making it a limited edition gift with purchase. I ended up not using a lot of the pieces in the set, meaning there's more that's going on with this character compared to what I built, but I think this does give the general idea, at least from what you could see on the box. I think this is pretty spot on in my opinion. So here are the two characters together. And looking at the time and all the stuff that I need to do for the channel, not just for this set, but for the other sets, I think I will wrap up here. I will not do the other builds yet, and I do see most people who voted, they really wanted to see the Fortnite, so that's what we'll do today. So we'll do the train and the one-piece sets next time. And I'll just say that the next time we stream is probably going to be Friday Eastern time in North America, just because I have other commitments during the week. So with that being said, I'll end the stream very soon. Just disassemble these pieces, put them in my parts collection. And whenever you have two pieces that are stuck like this, you can actually use two brick separators to forcibly separate them, like this. Well, there's more than one way to do it, but yeah, you just use lots of friction. There we go. So yeah, basically my plan for now is to make reviews for each of these things that I built live, including this set right here, the Quinjet, the small Ninjago set. I still have not done the review for that one, but that's coming out relatively soon. And yeah, these BrickHeadz are good overall. I gave my thoughts on them, but if Lego is listening, please make this a regular set that is available for purchase. Other than that, I don't have any complaints. I don't feel like I need to look at the instructions. Sometimes if I get a mechanism wrong, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at the instructions and figure it out after I do my first attempt at the build, just because I'm very curious what Lego has done, or if there's some really interesting, nice part usage or nice technique that I've not used before. But these are BrickHeadz. The only thing I'm wondering about is how do they fill that gap right here? But I don't really feel like I want to look at the instructions for that. So with that, I end the stream. I'll give you about 10 more seconds to leave any final comments if you have any. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one, probably on Friday or on Saturday of this week. So countdown to end the stream. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Good night or good day, everyone, depending on your time zone. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.